All right, you guys. So welcome to our Tuesday night continuing education class. This is where you can learn about the products that you have, or maybe you're brand new to essential oils. We're welcoming everybody here. And we're hoping that by the end of tonight's class, you will understand clearly how to use your products and not be afraid of them. So this is our class number 1, essential oils and safety. We're also going to talk a little bit about CPTG and why that is so important. Let's see, we're also going to let you know that this class is being recorded. And so if you just know that it's being recorded, and if you, for some reason, have a question or you have anything that you want to comment on, go ahead and put that in the chat, or at the end of class, we'll have an opportunity where we can answer your questions, or we'll also be loving to hear any kind of successes and things that you guys have been experiencing. This class is one of 8 different classes that rotate over and over. So our goal as a Good Vibes Tribe leader, we want to make sure that the people who have their essential oils know what to do with what they have. The last thing that we want is a bunch of essential oils sitting in a box somewhere or in a drawer, not getting used. So every Monday night, we have a live Zoom where it is to discover doTERRA and experience what it is that people love and why people are choosing doTERRA as a essential oil company. On Tuesday night, we have 8 different rotating classes. Now, we also give you guys the opportunity to get a free recipe book, which we'll talk more about at the very end of class. And we have class reminders. We have all kinds of really cool things and ways that you guys can continue your education. Now, here's a list of our 8 classes. And like I said, this is class number 1. So next week, we'll be doing a deep dive into daily vitality, nutrition, and all of the different supplements that doTERRA has. And a lot of times, you guys, people don't realize how important it is to have a good quality product that your body can actually absorb. So join us next week and you'll be able to learn more about that. Okay, we're going to just kind of jump right in, because how many of you guys have experienced you get a symptom, and most of the time the modern approach is you have a symptom and then you'll go to, say, a doctor or physician or someone, and they give you something to take to kind of address what the symptom is, but from that you end up getting another side effect, or you might get something else that happens in it. With that, there is over $6.5 trillion with a T spent every year on global healthcare. So we know that it is something that everybody is addressing and dealing with. Our goal here is to teach you safe, nature's products that will address the root cause of something instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it. Our goal is to get to the root of it so that we can take care of it in our body. When it gets what it needs, it automatically will take care of itself. And our natural approach also doesn't have side effects. So one reason that this is so important to me is I have a son who went in for a root canal about 20 years ago, and they gave him Oxycontin. And from that experience, it triggered something in him, and he became very dependent on the pills and became an addict. You guys, he's battled that addiction ever since. And so I'm super passionate about, gosh, if we can give people something that they can use instead of and not have the worry of all of those side effects. And with doTERRA, what we've learned is you get, it solves the issue and you don't have to worry about addictions or different things. Okay, so what's different between doTERRA and all the other things that are on the market? You guys, doTERRA is different because there are no fillers, no synthetics, and they don't dilute their essential oils with other carriers and things. Of course, we have a few of our blends that we do use a carrier oil with, but it's not like we're adding in some kind of a synthetic or something that's been chemically made. All of our oils come from plants, and they're grown in their ideal environment, which means, you guys, if I were trying to grow a lemon in Elko, Nevada, where I live, there's no way. And if it did get one, it would probably never turn yellow, and it would probably be just tiny. because it doesn't have the proper soil, it doesn't have the proper sunshine and warmth and everything else that it needs to be able to grow to its best ability. So doTERRA also uses over 54 tests along the way. So they go as far as testing the soil that the plant is grown in, that then we turn around and we harvest. And once we harvest it and we take that essential oil, the containers are checked to make sure that there's no soap or residue in it before we put our oil in it. And they test it every single step of the way so that by the time you crack open a bottle of oil, they have tested it over and over that it is 100% pure essential oil, that there's nothing in it that is adulterated, nothing that is, touched that has ruined its potency or its quality. And that to me, you guys, is so important, especially when we are, recommending these essential oils for our pets, for babies, for our elderly, for everyone. And so I love knowing that it is not only tested for, quality, but it's tested over and over and over. Now, one really cool thing about doTERRA is on the label, it says, if you could take it internal, or every bottle has CPTG on it. So you know that it's been tested over and over and over. If a bottle comes back from a test and it's been, I don't know, 97%, they'll actually reject that entire batch and they'll sell it off for perfumers and things like that, because we guarantee that it is 100% pure in every single bottle. Okay, so now there's a lot of different studies, and there's different places that you can actually learn and go to get more knowledge and information. So Roseman's University of Health and Sciences has done studies on doTERRA, and they have found that we are different. It's different than all the competitions that are out there. And there's a lot of people who will actually say, hey, we're just as the same as doTERRA, but we cut out the middleman, so you're getting a cheaper price. And what they're not telling you is they're not only cutting out the middleman, which is one of the things I love most about doTERRA, is we go to the natural origin. We let small farmers grow plants, and we actually help partner with with small businesses so that they can have 12 trees. And as long as they are to our standards, and we get to come in randomly and just test over and over to make sure everything stays the same, then we can use those small farmers. Now you can go to a website that is training@doterra.com, and there's a bunch of different courses that you can take for free, where you can learn all the safety things and where we grow them, how we harvest them, the tests that they go through. And I love that doTERRA is an open book. And did you guys know that on the bottom of every single bottle, there's a code, and you can go to that code and you can go to sourcetoyou.com, put that code in, and you can follow that specific oil all the way back to the plant. You guys, that's incredible to me, that you can get all of that information. You can see all the different studies. Okay, so there are 3 questions that are asked frequently to everybody who's first getting to know doTERRA. And the first one, you guys, is, are they safe? And one of the things that I want to point out here on the left-hand side is you'll notice that some of our bottles have supplement facts on the outside. That means that they are safe. They've been tested, that you can actually take them internally, which is really important, because so many of the things that we deal with need to have inside out, outside in type of recommendations to get the best result. They're also 100% pure. Like I said, they're unadulterated, so there's been nothing that's been added to it. There are so many oils on the market where they've tested and they've found things like, vegetable oil in them, and oils that aren't necessarily what they say they are. And so I love that ours are CPTG tested grade, and they're also the most tested and trusted essential oil on the market. We are the #1 essential oil company in the world. On the right-hand side, this is something that's really important. These little girls went to their grandma's house to visit, and they were used to using doTERRA's essential oil lavender to go to bed at night. And in this case, they went to the cupboard of their grandma's, and she normally has doTERRA, but didn't have any. So they used whatever she had in there. And you guys, if you look at the pictures, these were chemical burns that were caused from a store brand essential oil because it had who knows what in the bottle. Now, this is something that we aren't saying that every essential oil that you use is going to have this, but one of the first things that I look at on a label is the back of it. Is it ingestible? Can you use it aromatically? Can you use it topical? Because if there's any of those three things that you can't use it for, I want you just to consider for a minute, why would you not be able to take peppermint essential oil and put it on your skin or in your mouth? Well, the only reason is if they've added something to it that could be harmful. And for an essential oil company to label their bottle 100% pure essential oil, it only has to have 6% of the essential oil in the bottle. You guys, that's hardly any essential oil. As long as it's pure oil, then they can add anything else to the bottle that they want to, and they don't have to put it on the label, which is so misleading. Okay, so a couple of safety things that we want to talk about is we never put essential oils directly up the nose, in the eyes, or in the ears. They're powerful, and one drop of our peppermint oil is equal to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So that just shows you how potent they are. So a little tiny bit goes a long ways. And what I love about our oils is if you have 1 or 2 drops, that's a full dose. And everyone in our household can use them. It's just a matter of how much do we use. So less is always better. So many times if my husband gets a result with something, well, then if 1 is good, then maybe 3 or 4 is even better. Well, it's been shown, you guys, that when you use 1 drop of essential oil, it's more effective than using 10 or 15 drops for the same thing. And so what we always teach is to use 1 or 2 drops more often, like every 2 or 3 hours, or depending on what you're dealing with, sooner. Now, there's also some of the essential oils that are hot. Now, we're talking hot, like jalapeno juice in your eye hot. Now, most of them you can put on your skin, but they are warm and they can be irritating, especially if you have sensitive skin or you've got a small child. So cassia, cinnamon, oregano, thyme, clove, and ginger are the most common hot essential oils. Now, one time I had a mom who called me panicking because her daughter was used to going over to her essential oil bag and just helping herself to whatever she needed. Well, this time she went over and she got the cinnamon out, and somehow she got the lid off, and she was only about 2 or 3 at the time, and she got the cinnamon oil all over her. So her mom was super worried, and so she called and she's like, what do I do? What do I do? So one thing to remember, you guys, is when you have a hot oil, if you add water, it only intensifies the heat. So you want to take, like our fractionated coconut oil is good, a great quality olive oil or coconut oil, organic solid would be also really good. And you put those oils on and it's going to calm that down. And so she was able to, get the little baby's skin from being irritated. And the best part that her experience was that she told me was, I didn't have to call poison control because I knew that it wouldn't harm her. It was just going to be hot. And so, you guys, we just need to always be smart about how we use them and when we use them. Now, dilution, I love using fractionated coconut oil. You'll hear us talk a lot about adding, different dilution charts. We actually, in our kids class, give a rate of whether you're using them on pets or little kids or people with sensitive skin. I love our fractionated coconut oil because number 1, it does not clog the pores. So you can put it on any part of your body or your skin. I love it in on my hair. I love it on my, everywhere. And it doesn't have a fragrance. And then it's super easy and lightweight. So it leaves the skin feeling nice and soft. Now, the other thing that I want to just educate you on is when you use citrus oils, they make your skin photosensitive. So when you are putting them on, or if you're drinking them in your juice or iced tea or lemonade or cocktails or whatever, you're fine. But if you put them on the skin before you go out into the sun, you want to make sure that you don't put them on where the sun is going to hit your skin. So you can put them underneath your shirt. You can put them, wherever else you need them, but just not where the skin's going to hit, because it makes your skin super sensitive and it could make you intensify a sunburn. Okay, so there are 3 ways that we get to use essential oil: aromatic, topical, and internal. One thing that I love most about doTERRA is that it's not only safe, but it's actually recommended to take them internally. And I use them internally every single day. I love that I can do that. So a couple of ways that I love to use them internally is I'll just simply, drop it on my thumb. I'll put it in the roof of my mouth. If I need a quick result, I'll drop it underneath my tongue, or sometimes I'll put it in a little shot glass and I'll add a little tiny bit of water, maybe some honey to taste. But you guys, I take that, especially like if I'm having a breakout or an allergic reaction to something. What I love about the essential oils is you get instant results. So we were at dinner one time, there was 4 of us at a table, and I remember the gals, Diane was there, she's like kicking me under the table, kind of, giving me this head nod, and the gal that was with us was having an allergic reaction to the drink that she was drinking. And pretty soon we could see that she was turning red and she was, having a hard time breathing. So we got the keychain out, because we all carry keychains, and put oils on her. And then pretty soon I took her outside to my car where I had Tri-Ease and frankincense. So I had her take a Tri-Ease, which is our lemon, lavender, and peppermint blend, and I had her bust it open in her mouth. And you guys, within minutes, she was able to settle down. And within 10 or 15 minutes, we were sitting back at the table, eating dinner as if nothing happened. Now, if you've ever had an allergic reaction to something, you know that it's scary. And before doTERRA, I would have been taking pills, right? Because I would carry Benadryl with me in every pocket, in every drawer, in every cupboard. It was everywhere because of the problem. But the issue with it is that it would take about 20 or 30 minutes before it would start to work. Now with doTERRA, we got instant relief. So that's internal. You can use them directly on your skin. So there are some cautions, you guys, that if you have sensitive skin, then you'll want to dilute. We have a whole entire line of roller bottles that have touch on them. Each one of those, plus our kids collection, are diluted perfectly so that you can put them directly on the skin without having to worry about any kind of irritation. Now, aromatic is the last one I'm going to talk about, and it's probably one of my favorites, because if I'm at work, or if I'm with a bunch of people, or somebody in my area is coughing or something, I can put essential oils into the diffuser, and everyone that's in that area is going to get the benefit of whatever I'm diffusing. You can also wear them as, personal perfume by putting them on diffuser jewelry. You can put them, in your hands and just breathe it in. We've talked and help a lot of people who have breathing issues where their respiratory is really tight, and they're feeling like they can't catch a breath. And by simply dropping a few essential oils in the palm of their hands and just breathing it in by cupping it over the nose, they can really start to feel their airways open. One of my other favorite things is to drop it on my hand and make a tube, and then put the hand over like this, and then breathe in like you would an inhaler. And you guys, I can't tell you how many people have been able to get off of their inhalers by using that simple method. Okay, so the next question that is often asked is, are they effective? You guys, I love talking about this because when I was, a young mom, I didn't know that the difference between a virus and a bacteria. And the other part is, I knew that when I went to the doctor, that if we had a virus, they would say, you know what, chicken soup, take some time off, go home and just relax, sleep it off. But if there was a bacterial infection, they were able to give us something for that, an antibiotic. But with an antibiotic, you guys, that is a gift that keeps on giving. If you're a woman, especially, I would take an antibiotic, and then pretty soon I have another thing. I'm back in the doctor's office for another prescription. But the coolest part about this is now we have something that is not only safe, but very effective against viruses. So in the picture, there's a picture of a cell, and the virus lives on the inside of the cell. There's a cell membrane that protects it, like a little guard that won't let things that are not natural inside. Well, that's why with an antibiotic, it's not a natural thing, and our body's going, nope, can't get in. And so that sits there protected. Well, with our essential oils, our body recognizes it as nothing different than eating a plant, eating some fruit, or drinking, something really awesome from that's natural. So it's able to go across that cell membrane. And then what it does is it stops the production of the multiplication of our virus, and it will put it basically out. So just like if you're going to the doctor, you would use the essential oils the same way, because viruses are really sneaky and they like to hide. So how many of you guys have had an infection of some kind, and you start doing something and you feel pretty good, so you stop doing your protocol and you go back to work, or you start doing a lot of things, and then 2 days later you're sicker than you were in the beginning? Well, what we want to do and what we always teach is to be very consistent and to continue with the protocol for at least 5 to 7 days after you're feeling good, to make sure that you've gotten all that little nastiness out. It's so awesome, you guys. I love this. And one of my favorites is On Guard. On Guard has been so effective for our family in being able to keep our family out of the doctor's office. Okay, so the third question here is, are they affordable? You guys, I hear all the time people say, gosh, but I know, but they're so expensive. And when you really look at the big picture, maybe when you're first investing in doTERRA and wanting to get what I did, you guys, I looked at these, I read some literature, I looked at the book, I made a list of the things that my family could benefit. Even if I told my husband, I said, you're going to think I'm crazy, but if we have a 20% benefit in this, we're going to be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars ahead in the long run. You guys, there are 250 drops in a 15 ml bottle, and there are 85 in a 5 ml. Then on this chart, it shows you how much they are per drop. Now, when I talked about allergies, and that was what drew me into doTERRA, is I had debilitating allergies that I would spend half of a month in bed, usually with my eyes swollen completely shut. And I would use lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And so if you look at the bottom, whether you have an itchy throat, because it's the same thing, you eat something that causes your throat to kind of start closing, or your eyes are itching, I use the same exact thing, and 60 cents per dose, when I can promise you that when I was going to over-the-counter prescriptions and what I could find just at the grocery store, I was spending about $2 or $3 a pill, and I was taking about 5 or 6 of them at a time. So, and then the harm that it was causing on my body was just one of those other side effects. And now, you guys, it's been at least 12 years since I've had an over-the-counter prescription or drug of any kind, except for one time when I had a major surgery that I needed to have some extra stuff. And it's been amazing. Like, I love that they are affordable. And not only that, but when you start looking at, when I'm going into the doctor's office, you're taking time off of work, you're getting exposed to whatever else is in the doctor's office. A lot of times you're taking that home with you, then you're going for your prescription. And even if you get free prescriptions, what's it really costing you? What's the side effects? What's the long term? So you guys, are just some things to think about. Okay, now I'm going to talk about some of the essential oils that I love for people. Like when people say, gosh, where do I get started? But there's so many. Well, first of all, you can take and make a list of what are the main things that you're wanting to target. Like, where does your body need the most support or wants to have some support? And then you can make a list like that, or you can just say, okay, there are at least 10 or 15 oils that are what I'm going to call first-hand reach that you want to have in your possession all the time. Because, what I also love about using essential oils is we have a VIP Facebook group where you can look up anything you want any time of the day. And when you have what you need, then you are, well supported. It's if somebody says, gosh, I've got a fever, but I don't have anything. I mean, I could tell you on this page alone, there's at least 3 oils that would help address a body temperature that's raised, right? Or if you have a stomach issue, we've got all kinds of oils that will help to support you with all of it. And if you look at here, we've got everything from itchy skin, mouth irritations, warts, body aches, calming, a natural antihistamine, cooling, invigorating, detoxing, cleansing. And you guys, when in doubt, you just get that frankincense out. Frankincense is one of those that still today, you can see the frankincense trail when you go up into outer space. You can still see the trail where they went and they would walk to get frankincense, and they would protect it like they would gold and silver and myrrh because of its benefits and the way that you can use it for so many different things. Digestin is another one that I have all the time because we'll use it for everything from if you have, anything going on in your forehead or, your sinuses, upset stomach, diarrhea, constipation, all of those things. Digestin is the essential oil for that. So just looking at this list, you can see why so many people have these stocked and ready in their household at all time. Now, we also live in a time when there's a lot of life happening. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of unsettledness. There's a lot of, mistrust and just overwhelm. And so I love the 3 oils that are shown here on the top. And I use these 3 every single day, whether it's on the bottoms of my feet first thing in the morning or, in my bath soak at night. Sometimes I'll just put it in the palm of my hands. And you guys, anytime you want instant support with your mood, whether it's sad, happy, unmotivated, all the things, drop them in your hands, take a cup of like this and take 2 or 3 really deep breaths. And when you do that, your sense of smell is 10,000 times more powerful than any of your other senses. Plus, there's something about that smell that goes into the brain and triggers that calm. And it's one of the only ways that you can get that instant relief. And so you guys, these are your 3. If you have any kind of, chaos going on, and I love that they are good for everyone in your household. And a couple of them have multiple pieces that you can partner with it. And then we also have inflammation. So what we know about inflammation is it is the root of all dis-ease, whether it is, your toes, your belly, your brain, your shoulders, all the things, that causes different inflammation in your body. These products here are our powerhouses. We have a few others, but these are the main ones that people reach for. Deep Blue is one of my favorite lines. I feel like it's a gateway, especially for men, because I don't know a man that doesn't get physical or works hard or goes out and, is strong and lifting things. You guys, these essential oils and the rub, like if you have something that's chronic that you deal with on a regular basis, what I recommend is not only the Deep Blue polyphenol capsules, because that's meant to be a supplement for this type of thing, but then to drop a drop of the essential oil, which is different, a different blend completely. So you would drop the drop of oil where the pain or the inflammation is, let it sit for a second, and then either reach for the Deep Blue rub, which is like a lotion, or the Deep Blue stick, which also has copaiba in it, which is just another powerhouse, and then apply that over the top. And what I love to teach people is if you know that you're going to go out in your yard and pull weeds for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, Hayley, put it on before you go out, and you're not going to be nearly as sore when you come in or the next day. So we use it to prevent, and then we also use it to support. Copaiba is another one that's shown on the bottom right-hand corner. You guys, this comes in an oil. It also comes in a gel cap. What I love about being able to take it internally is because it starts from the inside and then supports on the way out, right? And it addresses all 4 of our core body systems. And so we use this often. Okay, so we can't go this far in and not talk about our foundation. So we teach a lot about, gosh, get really strong in your foundation. And then as you have these building blocks on top of it, it just gets better and better. And our lifelong vitality is foundational for health and wellness. It is bioavailable. There's 3 different parts. It is just packed full of nutrients. And so if you look here on the list, if you look at iron, for instance, you would have to eat 15 cups of pumpkin seeds to get the same benefit that is in the lifelong vitality. It is $88. And when they break it down and they buy all of the vegetables and all of the fruit and everything that goes into it, it would cost you close to $900 a month to be able to get all of that in there. So Lifelong Vitality, you guys, it shows that 51% of us are deficient in vitamin A, 95% of us are deficient in vitamin D, and 61 are deficient in magnesium. So we live in a time when we need to be able to supplement in order to get the proper nutrition, because our fields have been completely overworked, and so there's not a lot of nutrition left in the ground. So here's another screenshot of Lifelong Vitality, and you'll hear a lot of us sometimes we'll be talking about it as LLV. So anytime you hear the words LLV, you know that we're talking about our supplements. Here, this does talk about our omegas and how it helps to really support our brain and our heart function. It helps with skin, your nails, really having a positive mood. And then we have the Alpha CRS, which is really great for everything from cell function to metabolism, mental clarity. There's also a blend of oils that are in this that help with taming your tummy. So if you take a supplement, maybe it upsets your stomach, this has got a built-in tummy tamer so that you shouldn't have that effect. I love that it also has kale and dandelion and kelp and broccoli and Brussels sprouts and all these things that we may not be able to have on a regular basis. Now, by looking at the list, you might be going, oh my gosh, I just can eat these instead of food. No, you still need to have raw vegetables and fruit and still get the proper nutrition. But this is a really great foundation that you can get. A couple of other things that I want to say about Lifelong Vitality really quick is they have a money back guarantee. So if you get this system and you say, didn't work for me, I don't like it, I didn't notice anything different, you can get a hold of doTERRA and they will give you your money back for it, which in today's world, what else has a money back guarantee? Like nothing. I can't even think of anything that, they would give you your money back. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention is they are bioavailable. You guys, I can't express how important this is, that if you're taking supplements, there's a lot of companies, especially like porta potties, which they will show you that when people take a bunch of supplements, most of it goes directly out of the body and your body doesn't have a chance to break it down or utilize it to be able to get the benefit and the nutrition. So ours is bioavailable. doTERRA spends a lot of money in the science and the research to make sure that our supplements break down and open in the part of the body that it needs to get the best benefit. Okay, so I've got some helpful tips. So when you're first getting started with doTERRA, and especially with essential oils, do the research, find the resources. We have a powerful essential oil group, Facebook page that is just packed full of years of content, classes, recipes, protocols. You can pretty much search anything in there and find your answers. And you don't have to wait for somebody to return your call or, try to discover how to do it by yourself. Consistency is key. You guys, most people will try something. Oh, I tried it for my allergies and once, and it just didn't work. You guys, our bodies didn't get in the shape or didn't have that effect overnight and just once. So it may take a few days. And they say that for every year that you have had a ailment or your body's been dealing with something, it takes a full month of continued use to be able to correct it or to be able to reverse it. So it does take time, and it is something that we need to be consistent. You guys keep them out where you're going to see them, where you're going to use them. The worst thing is to throw them all into a drawer somewhere and not be able to remember where it was. In my house, every single room, like next to my bathroom sink, I have what I use to get ready in the morning, and everything for my face, things for allergies. In the laundry room, I have oils that I use on my dryer balls or in my laundry. And next to the kitchen, I have a little container that has essential oils that are all citrus or the ones that we cook with. When you see them, you will use them. Discover all the resources. You guys, we have not only our Facebook, but there are a plethora of essential oil books that you can purchase, you can get apps, you can go online. There are a ton of resources. And then the last thing is always purchase at the best price. I purchase below wholesale, and I'll tell you guys about that in just a second. Okay, so here we go. So we have, whenever you pick a pack of something, so we have Lifelong Vitality, and then we also have our award-winning collagen, which is Advantage. Both of these, whenever you purchase them, there's a drop-down menu where you can pick an additional 3 products to buy them way below wholesale pricing. doTERRA does this for us because they know that when you have multiple people using the products, they want you to be able to get the best value and not cut corners and not leave something out. And so this is really great. And there's also one for your skincare. So when you purchase a kit of some kind and they've got multiple different choices, then a drop-down menu comes on and you can add additional things at discount. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the only way that I buy my essential oils is using something called loyalty rewards program. And when I first got into doTERRA, you guys, I was the one going, nope, not doing it. I am not doing that. I don't care how much you can save. I don't care, because I had been burned from an auto shipping program before that I couldn't get out of. And so I wasn't willing to take the risk. But what happened is over, 4, 5, 6 months, I noticed that, gosh, I'm not ordering, and it's so easy. You can choose what you order, when it ships, or you can just set your template and you can set it and forget it, and it will automatically come. What I love most about this, you guys, is at midnight, if I think, oh my gosh, I need CorrectX, I can go in there and I can add CorrectX to my loyalty rewards order and it will ship. I can also have a template and I can have it ship on a certain day. And then if I decide that I want it earlier, I just hit ship now. My orders always ship before the 15th, which you can see here that if you have it ship on or before the 15th and it's at least 125, they give you a free product. You guys, I've been able to increase what I have by getting free products, and I love it because there's oftentimes when you can't purchase it, but then I'll see people talking about it and I'm like, well, I want that. And there's no way to get it except for this way. I also qualify for free shipping. And so all of these different rewards are something that I think is so great with the way that doTERRA, gives back to us. You can also see on the bottom of this chart, there is, for the first 3 months that you're on loyalty rewards, you can earn up to 10% back in the products that you purchase. All the way up to after 13 months, you're getting 30% back, which is where you stay. Now, if you have questions about this program, make sure you reach out to the person who invited you here, because we want to make sure that you are clear on it. We don't want you doing anything that you aren't comfortable with. And just know that the entire thing is customizable every single month, or you can stop and start it anytime you want to. Okay, because doTERRA is amazing, when I first was introduced again, I was, no, I'm not sharing it. I'm not talking about it. I'm not telling anyone. I just want to use it and to have my family benefit. But over time, over the first few months, I remember people started hearing, like, I was having great results. My husband, who was suffering from gout, was getting great results. My son, who had had chronic sinus infections and ear infections, ended up losing 30% or 70% of his hearing because of antibiotics. And we were able to completely get rid of that. So it's so awesome, you guys, that, sorry. And I instantly just started talking about it. I started telling my friends, my family, and then as my list went up and grew, that I wanted to earn maybe just enough, oh, sorry, maybe just enough that I could get my oils for free. We have a referral program where you don't have to do anything. You can just share a link. As if you have an account with doTERRA, you can share a referral link and you can earn bonus points that you can use like dollars. So, oh gosh, dang it. I got to show you guys what I'm doing really quick. So can you see on my desk all of these flowers? We have Diane inspired wood flowers that we have dyed and with natural coloring, and now we've scented them. And so I'm sitting in a room full of scent, and it's a little strong. So anyway, you guys, I'll get back to my class. Thank you so much for joining us on this class. If you want to stay connected, one of the ways that you can do that is you can text the word class reminders, which is one word, and you can text it to 534-429-5392. What I love about this is I get a text on my phone about 15 minutes before class starts. It tells me what the class is, and then it gives me the Zoom link where I just touch the link and it connects me to class instantly. The other thing I love about it is on Wednesdays, we give you the class recording links for Monday and Tuesday. So many times it's so hard to find where our resources are. So it's just easy and convenient. Now, I also mentioned that we would be giving away a free recipe book. So when you have watched or joined us for 8 of our Zoom classes, it could be any order, any class, then you text the word class plus a topic to 534-429-5392. And it automatically notifies us when you get 8. And then we send you as a gift and a thank you for joining us and educating and learning about oils, because like I said in the beginning, we want you to be empowered. We want you to be able to empower your friends, your family, your kids to be able to know what to do and get the best results with your essential oils. Next week, we are going to be talking about daily vitality. So we're going to do a deep dive into our nutrition, our supplements, and the lifelong vitality. All right, so now, hi guys. We're going to open this class up. If anybody has any questions or any testimonials, this would be a great time for us to share them. Hey, Sarah, I see you just joined. Would you tell them about Silver Club?
Absolutely. So that's where I was. I was meeting with a gal. So I apologize I'm late. But Silver Club is something that we have gotten the opportunity, me, Diane, and Ani. I don't know if you showed that slide. I missed it. We got the opportunity through doTERRA to give gifts, I guess you could say, for free to anyone that is new to doTERRA and enrolls with us. So you get a specific code from us. So you can't just enroll and get that, but you get a specific code from us. And then each PV, so 100 PV gets you a free lavender touch, which we know how amazing lavender is. It's your Swiss Army knife. 150 PV gets you a lavender touch, plus you get an opportunity to get a diffuser, both toothpaste or the hand wash with a dispenser. It's a glass dispenser. And then 200 PV, you get Citrus Bliss. And it's all free and it comes with your enrollment. So if you know of any friends or family, get a hold of one of us and we'll get you that code after watching this class. Or if you get in contact with one of us, we can get you that code and you get the opportunity to get free things.
Awesome. Hey, while we've got you here, would you share a testimonial with us?
I just shared one in Good Vibes. Can I share that same one?
Sure.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm a survivor. I'm a warrior of ulcerative colitis, and I've had 10 organs removed up to this point. And I will lack salt the rest of my life because I can't absorb it. My body just rejects it. So they have been having me take salt tablets in the morning on an empty stomach for 6 years now, and then midday, because especially if I'm going to work out or if I'm going to work in the garden, you know, just normal things, any type of precipitation, I guess you could say, I have to increase that salt intake. So I decided to do an experiment because Hayley and I were talking about the new fad, that's what I call it. And everybody was doing the Advantage with the PB Assist and the Recharge. And I said, what is the benefit of this? We talked about Recharge in itself and how it's meant to actually be a drink, not just chug a lug. Well, I started doing some research on the Recharge a little bit deeper, and I needed that sodium and magnesium. That's what I'm missing when I am actually sweating. So I decided to do the Advantage and on an empty stomach, like I've been doing for, oh my gosh, how long, when it was released, whenever it was released, we'll say 2 years. And then I add the recharge in it as well. And I froth that up, 6 ounces of water, still thing. And it down the hatch, I go, yes, it's salty, but it's really, really yummy for me because I'm used to those disgusting salt tablets. I am on day 11. And you guys, it is night and day. I haven't touched the salt tablets. I cannot tell you the difference. It is worth it. So if you have something, especially with bowels, or you've had bowels removed, or anything to do with autoimmune, and you need that extra salt, I promise you, this is your niche. This is your ticket. It's amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. I think that everybody can hear testimonials over and over and over. So I'm going to share one. When I first was using doTERRA, my husband, of course, he was going, well, whatever makes Hayley happy makes me happy, and I'm not going to complain, but it stinks, right? But he had been traveling. We had gone on vacation. He came home. He went directly to Dominican Republic for 4 or 5 days. And while he was on the plane, well, when he got there, he had a sinus infection, which my husband was he would get 2 a year, was just kind of normal. And because of the different medications he's had from other things, the medication would then cause him to have issues with his kidney and his liver. So twice a year, he'd be in the hospital, go to the doctor for sinus infections. He came home, or he got to Dominican Republic. The doctors there gave him enough pills for 3 days while he was there, but that's it. So by the time he got home, he was going, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make it tomorrow. I think I'm going to go to the emergency room. And I said, let's try these oil things. So he took the On Guard, and in every man's fashion that my husband loves to do, less is more, right? Or more is less. He takes the bottle of On Guard, tips his head back, and just starts to shake it in his mouth. He probably got about 10 or 15 drops of On Guard, and he said he could feel like his face on fire. And if you guys have done it, you understand what I'm talking about. And he felt this like rushing up to his nose. And within about 15 minutes, his nose started to drain and continue to drain. You guys, by the next morning, when he got up, he had not one symptom of a sinus infection, not one. So and that was what made my husband a believer. So now when he meets anybody, he always has On Guard with him, and he gives full bottles away. I'm like, okay, wait, we got to stop doing that. But it's like On Guard was so powerful in that now anytime he gets a tickle in his throat, he'll put it on his toothbrush and he'll like scrub inside of his mouth with his toothpaste or with his toothbrush. And then he'll also take it, and this is not something that I recommend, but he does it, is he'll touch the top of the bottle of the On Guard with a Q-tip, and he'll like stick it just in the front of his nose. And you guys, he's not had a sinus infection for at least 12 years. And this is a man who would get them twice a year. So On Guard, you guys, I'm going to just say, at this point in doTERRA, for me, you cannot convince me that it doesn't work. That's what a believer I am in so many different levels. Sarah?
One more, because it just happened. So this is on lavender, and everybody is gonna just stare at me and like, here she goes on lavender again. It's usually lavender or frankincense. And so I went to go have a consult with a lady, and she does this process where it pulls toxins out of their body. It was really cool. And she gave one of them a bottled water with some pineapple in it. They were just sitting there talking. I was there to talk to her about essential oils for Silver Club. And this gal goes, my throat is swelling shut. And she goes, I can't breathe. And I look over and her face is bright red. Her knuckles are bright red. She can't breathe. And it's clear she's having problems. And the gal, she's younger. She goes, I don't have any Benadryl. And she starts to panic and she's running. And she goes, I'm going to go look for some Benadryl. Will you stay here? Yeah. I said, hey, I know this sounds really crazy because we haven't met. You don't even know what I'm here for, but would you be open to essential oils? She said, sure, at this point. And so I put 4 drops of lavender. Yeah, it was probably excess, but 4 drops of lavender underneath her tongue and gave her a normal bottled water and had her swish it down. We counted to 30 and we did 4 more. And then by the time I'm going to say 5 or 10 minutes, it was gone. The red was gone on her face. She's like, I can swallow, I can breathe. This is crazy. And the red on my knuckles is disappearing. So it was absolutely amazing. And so then I got to explain to all 3 of them about.
You guys, it's so incredible how quickly essential oils work. And this is in this 101 class, I think one of the most important things is knowing that you can't do that with just any essential oil that you find. Like you can't go to the grocery store or the gas station and buy lavender. it's like eating a candle for allergies. You would never take a candle and pour it down your throat. With doTERRA's lavender, it's completely different. It's 100% pure lavender. So Sarah knew that even if it didn't do everything, it wouldn't harm her. And the peppermint, lavender, and lemon that I love so much is it helps with the cooling. It helps with breaking down whatever is causing the problem. And then the lavender is a natural antihistamine. So you guys, it's those three more that there's over 101 different uses at least that you can use for those oils. And how awesome, because I think Sarah kind of broke up a little bit, but by the time the person who went to get the Benadryl got back, the person was completely okay. And if she would have waited for the Benadryl, guess what? She's waiting at least another 20 minutes before it gets into the system. So it's crazy cool. Like, this stuff is pretty darn amazing. Okay. Anybody else have any testimonials that they want to share or questions? I looked through the chat and I didn't really see any questions.
I'm just gonna say, right now, listening to this conversation, oh, I forgot what I was doing. I got 4 oils right here, and I'm making the mug treatment because I got sinus junk going on. I'm not brave enough to put 15 drops of On Guard in my mouth, but I do know that this is effective for anybody who's not aware. I'm doing oregano, tea tree, lemon, and peppermint. Do 2 drops of each with hot water. So I'm heating up water on the counter. It's in a mug. I'm going to add it. I call it the mug treatment. Put your head over it, breathe in slowly, because I will either sneeze and sneeze and sneeze or cough and cough and cough, but it breaks up all the junk in here. And if anybody's familiar with Dr. Stoyer, he's a dentist who uses doTERRA. I don't believe he's practicing anymore. I think he's building a large enough business with doTERRA, but he describes it that tea tree softens the outside of the bacterial wall so that the oregano can go in to kill that bacteria. Peppermint opens your airways, so it's getting good oxygenation into your bloodstream to help address that. And then lemon is, I think, just to make it palatable. Plus, I think lemon is good for mucus and draining mucus. So I'm hopeful, but I'm going to do it. And I should have been doing it every day for the last 5 days. I did it early on and things were much better. So I got inconsistent, Hayley.
Well, best part
Get your
though,
oils in you, on you, and around you.
and and knowing what to do now, that can prevent it from getting any worse, or, and sometimes because we run lives that are just full, right? Everybody here probably has a life that is full. And so our body needs to have some extra support, and sometimes rest is part of it. So good. Thank you, Julie, for sharing that with us. Okay. Anybody else have a testimonial or a question?
Hey, Haley.
Hey, Diane.
So I'd like to address that whole bacteria as opposed to a virus, issue. So, we have a bacterial infection, we can go in, we can get an antibiotic. We don't need to because we have essential oils that will tackle that. But if we have any kind of virus, which a cold's a virus, the big C that we all went through is a virus. Strep is a virus. Mono is a virus. All of these things are viruses. And I have actually 2 testimonials. So my daughter, she got mono and she was absolutely miserable. And sometimes, I love her to death, but sometimes she doesn't want to do what I recommend. So she wants to go to the doctor. I'm like, okay, we'll go to the doctor. So she goes to the doctor. She's still not getting relief. And I just keep gently saying, well, let me know if you want me to help you. And nope, she goes back to the doctor. They give them something else. I mean, her throat, she's in so much pain. And finally, by the 3rd day, she's like, fine. And within not even 24 hours, she was already pain-free and on her way to healing. I got strep throat, never got it before. It was going around school. My immune system was low because it's been a really stressful year, and never had it. Figured out what it was on my own without going to the doctor. Thankfully, I figured it out on Thursday night. started Symphony of the Cells, which I know we haven't talked about tonight, but it's a protocol where you put oils on your back and on the bottom of your feet for specific targeted issues. Like there's a digestive protocol, there's a infectious disease protocol, there's a respiratory protocol, so and so, so on and so on. But anyway, so I had my husband, because we're off on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I had him doing Symphony of the Cells, oils on the bottom of my feet and not down my spine, twice a day for 3 days. On Monday morning, I was back at school. So there you go. And knowing what we know, the more education you have, then you automatically know what to do. And if you don't, it's like you said, it's not going to hurt us, like Sarah, pouring, and I know I'm exaggerating, but pouring lavender down this lady that she doesn't even know. She knows it's not going to hurt her. So, and she knows it's going to help her deep down. She does know that. So anyway, thought I'd share those.
Those are awesome, Diane. So it reminded me of another story. So there
We
was a
do this all
gal,
night.
right? I know, it's like, okay, and we don't have to, but so when I was talking to a gal who we were dealing with some blood sugar level type stuff with her, and her husband's kind of like, yeah, I don't really know. I don't think that this, like, they really saw you coming, and they sold you this oil or whatever. Well, their son was having an asthma attack and could not catch his breath. So they're loading him in the car. They're going to rush him to the hospital, or, rush him to the hospital. Well, about halfway there, he's like, do they have that oil stuff? Like, do you have that stuff? And they got out Breathe, and they put it underneath his nose. And then she just cupped it and just put it over his face. You guys, they were able to stop the car and turn around and come back home. They were able to stop that breathing issue. So then when they got home, he's like, okay, do you think that they have something for, and, fill in the blank, that then she would be willing to talk to me about it. You guys, these are things that you can witness right in front of yourself, like instantly. And there's times when, I mean, I know I could go on for hours and tell testimonials, but I remember being at a conference once, and there's a gal across the street, and we were getting ready to cross the road, and the person had a bicycle hit her and knocked her over, and she was, cut and bruised or whatever, bleeding. And no, of course, we didn't run over and start throwing oils on her. But what we did do is I opened up my hands and I let her breathe over her face, and she was able to catch her breath and stop panicking. I mean, just the simplest things, you guys. It's pretty crazy. And I love that no matter what, when I see somebody walking through the door or walking towards me, or my kid, or, somebody says something, I know that I have an essential oil that can offer some support to them in some way. And just like Diane was saying with Symphony of the Cells, it's targeted protocols. We also have something called Aroma Touch, which is an amazing technique, which is good for everybody at any age. And yeah, we're pretty blessed. I feel so fortunate to be on this path of, learning and discovering. So with that being said, you guys, I've been studying essential oils and studying doTERRA, and I'm fascinated with it. The more that I learn, the more that I want to learn. The more that I discover, protocols and things that work, the more I want to learn about it. And so my journey started, probably like some of you guys will relate. It's like I knew nothing about essential oils. I didn't know much about how the body worked, and I've just dug in and I've continued to learn. So know that it takes time to learn the process. It takes time to learn the essential oils. When I started, because I was in such a desperate spot, I literally was, okay, I want every oil. Just give me every oil. And then when I got every oil, I really only went to the blends, because by looking at the bottles and the label, DigestZen, well, what do you use it for? Anything digestive. And then over time, like I'm talking over the next year of studying every day for at least an hour, I learned more and more, and I continue to learn more and more. So as you're on this journey, you guys, just discover it as you need to. Get them out, put them where you see them so you'll be reminded. take advantage of the resources, go into Good Vibes and just kind of, look around and see what you can discover. There's so much and it's so exciting. Diane?
So there was a question of what I used when I had strep. So I use Symphony of the Cells Infectious Disease Protocol. So if you go into Good Vibes and just type that out, Symphony of the Cells is this little tiny booklet that you can order, and it's got the protocols. It's super simple to follow. I mean, you can teach a third grader how to do this. And then in addition to that, every couple of hours, I was doing what we call the flume or the flute. I make a batch, a master blend. This has frankincense, lemon, melaleuca, tea tree, and on guard. And I also do I add a little bit of Melissa to it because Melissa's a powerhouse when it comes to viruses. So I was doing that every couple of hours. I was drinking tea with oils in it. I was doing the on guard throat drops. Yeah, lots of water, and lots of sleep.
Good stuff, you guys. And go in and search Good Vibes too, because I know Diane has talked about that in Good Vibes. Okay, before we say goodbye, here isn't this pretty, Diane? So we dyed them in all different colors. This is a rose, and I'm gonna say take time and smell the roses because you guys, we used a blend that we're calling Sun Blossom. We're gonna launch it at an event on Mother's Day weekend. It is incredible and is amazing. So anyway, I just can't wait. So exciting. Watch for our stuff. Okay, Jules, I see you're popping in.
I am, just because a great class tonight, Hayley. Thank you. But I wanted to pop in because Cheryl's iPhone asked Sarah if she sells the dryer balls and how she can get her hands on them. And I don't know if Sarah saw that. So if Sarah's still on, if Sarah could address that.
Yeah. Yep. And I just replied. I literally just saw it. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys, I even put it out on Facebook all the time, so I don't care who has my phone number, but you guys, I put it in the chat. You guys can text or call me, and I've had a couple people from the last class reach out to me, and I was able to figure out the shipping and get them shipped to them. So absolutely, it's in the chat if you guys want it.
So another way that you guys can reach out to Sarah is she is a part of our Good Vibes tribe. And so you can just message her, or maybe Sarah, what we could do is have you do a post for dryer balls, kind of explain that you guys raise the sheep and that you guys make them, and that it is a small business that we love to support. And I've heard nothing but good things about your dryer balls and how good they last. I can tell you, I have some, and Loki enjoyed one. For sure. So, okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. As always, it's our pleasure to bring you information, protocols, testimonials, classes, information in order to help educate you guys. And tomorrow night, Wednesday, we always do a roundtable discussion. It is not recorded. You can bring your questions. Tammy does a really great job of teaching that class. I'm not sure what tomorrow's going to be about, but we have a new month coming with new promotions that we'll be putting up in Good Vibes. So have a great night, you guys, and thanks for joining us. See you next time.